In Self-Possession by Lorna Simpson and Sacred Geometry by Renee Cox, biological motifs become the tools of the artists to expose shared purposes of the laws created by humans and observed laws of nature. These artists of the African diaspora reveal the power of legal construction over the body and interrogate the viewer's role in the legal system as a call to action. In her 1992 photograph Self-Possession, Lorna Simpson portrays the torso of a woman in a black dress and red gloves positioned over her abdomen, in front of a dark red background. She frames the photograph in a black shadowed border. The red background invokes the color of blood. The shadow frame and blood red color place the woman inside a dark blood-filled cavity, like an ultrasound looks inside the womb. Simpson's subject creates a frame within a frame with gloved hands placed on top of her ovaries, fallopian tubes, and lining of her uterus around the words, "is 9/10 of the law." The text occupies the space of her womb, making the womb the subject of the sentence. In placing the words over the womb, the viewer must consider our shared conceptual maps of the womb's biology applied to the law. The womb is a space where organic molecules are constructed into a form according to a code, the DNA. The hands that frame the words draw on the notion that hands build and create. 9/10 of the law is not a constructed code of our society. 9/10 of the law is a space of construction, constructing bodies into the form of society. Simpson's piece works as a visual representation of critical race theory, which lays out specific framework of how the law maintains racial power over time. Simpson's title, Self-Possession, and the womb-like appearance of the background reveal how the body is constantly inside and shaped by the womb-like construction of the law. Renee Cox's 2016 short film Sacred Geometry serves as a response to Simpson's work over 2 decades later. Within this time span, biologists began to engineer human DNA after the completion of the Human Genome Project, with gene editing innovations like CRISPR-Cas9. In the world of legal reconstruction was the founding of the Black Lives Matter movement in 2013. The name of the movement clearly states that in opposition to the constructing forces of law, Black Lives Matter, and to reaffirm Black life, the movement organizes in opposition to police brutality after the unjust but legal murders of Black men and women, including Natasha McKenna, Trayvon Martin, and Michael Brown. Cox's piece integrates the reconstructive possibilities of both biological innovation and the Black Lives Matter movement in her short film.
Good evening. This is the voice of the goddess. In the next 10 minutes, we will take you with us into another world.
Cox takes both natural laws and the rule of law into her own creative agency. She takes photographs of black bodies and constructs them into fractals. The film begins in darkness, and Cox asserts her voice as the voice of the goddess. The piece transports the viewer to another world. The term world implies a space with laws and structure. In this declaration, Cox asserts herself as the goddess having power over her own world. The fractals have their own dimensions and form of movement. The movement of this fractal mimics a protein folding. In doing so, she makes the black body an atomic particle. Just like proteins fold according to their intermolecular forces, Cox's fractal protein moves in a similar pattern as though the photographs have forces that connect them together. Specific fractal shapes mimic the movement and images of cellular animation and microscopic images. In moving the fractals like natural particles, Cox shows she can have power over natural law. Other fractals possess their own divine form of movement determined by Cox's own laws. The images drawn are shared conceptual maps of depictions of gods and goddesses in temples. Fractals are sacred patterns found in nature and utilized in African art and architecture for centuries, long before they were written about by scholars and computer scientists. Through divine movement, Cox shows she can construct black bodies into natural and divine forms, giving herself even greater constructive power than the law. Sacred geometry and self-possession in A Conversation of Biological Motifs reveal the nuance of the constructional power of law. The viewer is reminded that law constructs people into a form, a constructed order. The pieces also provide a call to action to counteract this dark reminder. In sacred geometry, Cox literally takes her own agency to construct her own world. The piece serves as a metaphor in conversations with histories of social organizing. An individual has the power to construct a better form of law in society. Self-possession can be represented as ownership of the self. The womb can recreate new life with potential to create better constructions of law in society. The pieces are in a conversation of possibility alongside recent innovations in gene editing technology and the Black Lives Matter movement.